What is up, everybody? I'm PB Squamer, and this is the 2013 Audi R8. Yeah, I've always wanted an Audi R8, and there was a rental near my hotel, and I had to say yes. But I figured I could use it as a tax write-off for some of the content creations I make and stuff like that. But let's just get into it. First off, it's the first generation, and pretty much they all look the same from 2008 to 2017. There's some slight tweaks, but the 2013 really isn't any different than the 2008. This is one of the first years where they offer this color, and personally, I freaking love the color of it. I think it's straight up gorgeous, and it's all around amazing. Now, before I forget, the disclaimer for this is I have no idea what has been done to this car. I know for a fact that there are definitely some modifications, the exhaust being the biggest one. This thing is not stock. I don't think any engine upgrades has been made as far as I can tell, but at the very least, the exhaust is not stock. So we're going around, you obviously have this orange and this tiny door ding. So you have this orange, and then you have these air intakes, and this was like polarizing, I guess, in the early 2008. Like when it first came out, people were like, oh, the sash is weird looking, the thing. I flippin' love it. This one has the carbon fiber throughout the inside and the outside with the gigantic Audi brakes and those rims that are definitely also not stock. But personally, I would go for black rims, but either way. Now the back end, I have been driving it for 3 days, and I promised the guy I wouldn't take it through a car wash, so it's a little dirty on the back end. But on top of that, looks astounding. Now this one has about 102,000 miles, so it's definitely gotten through it. But actually, I think that's like a testament to the car itself, because it's arguably a supercar that made it to over 100,000 miles, and as far as I can tell, it's still working fine. Now, one of the best things that I like about it is this view right here, is the engine. The engine you can see through the back window, and honestly, it looks amazing. All right, I don't really have a ton to say about what's going on the outside besides the fact that it just looks astounding. It does have these LEDs that are quite bright that come along the bottom here that are really pretty. And apparently the first Audi R8 was the first car to ever have that like LED strip that comes through it. So let's hop inside and let's hear it out. All right, we are inside the Audi R8. You know what, before I start her up and everything, let's get a good look. If I can get you undone from the window. Come on, there we go. All right, so this is what you're walking into. Obviously, you have this container here that I put my Red Bull. The fun thing is there's a 3-hole cup holder. I don't even think this would fit one of the small versions of these, but who knows. So we're gonna start her up, but I'm gonna have to close the windows as soon as that happens because you're not gonna be able to hear me. Again, this exhaust is in no way stock. Yeah, it is as a truck goes by, but this thing is flipping loud. Like, look, give it up. There's no way that this, I don't know what kind of exhaust is on it, but it's definitely not stock. Neither is this infotainment device, none of that stock either. He said that it's an upgraded version. We do have a check engine light on. He said there's like a carbon, I don't remember what his exact words were, but he was like, we know about it. So I was like, okay. Getting started, you have a seat warmer, you have these. The biggest thing that I noticed immediately is this weird, like, I've heard that supercars, they have like weird things about them. This car is not really super weird, I'd say. As far as things go, the only difference is, so I'm in neutral right now. If I want to put it in drive, I go one to the left and just click it. And now I'm in drive. And if I want to do the manual with the paddles or the up and down shifter, I hit it again, and now I'm in manual. For reverse, I go back over to neutral, and then I push it down, and now I'm in reverse. Yeah, so there's that. But honestly, it's actually not as loud as I thought it would be as idling, but I'm gonna close this window. The AC unit is blasting in this car. Like, it is such a strong AC unit. So obviously when you get in, you have this carbon fiber. Again, I'm 90% sure this came stock with the car, the carbon fiber here, but I'm not sure if they put anything into it, they wrapped anything, because he did say that they did a good bit of work. This one in particular has a broken piece that he was like, we know about it. And I'm like, okay. The other thing is, I hope he knows about this piece right here, because this is broken and I did not do that shit. So Yeah, there's all of that. All right, we're gonna go for a drive and we're gonna talk about all the other stuff that I've noticed so far driving it for the last 3 days. All right, so I think the biggest thing about this is that obviously the back window is not gigantic. I just realized, like, looking at it, they have a little space for where you can hook your car seat, but it's illegal to have a kid in a front seat and there's no back seat. I don't know. All right, so starting off with things I've noticed so far in this car, finishing that off. As we're gonna get going, I'm just gonna drive in any random direction. You're gonna hear the engine pretty much from the get-go. But things I've noticed in this car, the biggest thing, you know what? I don't like where you're sitting. Come on, I'm gonna put you more facing me. There we go. Okay, there you go. All right, the biggest thing I noticed in this car, and again, I don't know if this is the modifications or if this is very standard. First and second gear, if you are trying to like creep through a parking lot, it does not like it. Like, it's jerky. It almost feels like it's like I don't go slow. This car doesn't go slow. They're like, I go fast. I mean, it's supposed to be rated for a 0 to 60 of 4.3 seconds, which seems about right. It's definitely the fastest car I've ever driven, for sure. And the other thing I might do for this video is I might drive through the city, because there's a city, I'm in San Antonio. There's a city, and this car gets looks. Like, it is not like right behind me. There's a guy staring at it right now. But yeah, no, I mean this one in particular is so stinking loud. You have to kind of look at it. But then the exterior and how it looks, because it looks like an exotic supercar, which it kind of is. I would say the V8 is, but everyone I've discussed this with was like, no, the V10 is the only supercar. It's like, dude, I would be thrilled to have the V8. It freaking, with this exhaust, it groans, it growls, it's awesome. All right, so you also have these paddle shifters, which I like, but I gotta say, like if I shift down, it only gets me to 3,000 RPMs, and it won't let oh, it did let me shift down. And shifts again. Yeah, the shifts are really smooth. To get it back to auto, you have to switch this thing. Most cars, you just hold down the right paddle and it'll cancel auto, but this one, I don't think that's how it works. So going through Texas, honestly, this is probably one of the best places to have this car, because going through Texas with this thing is the speed limits are so stinking high. Like, every freeway is pretty much at least 65 and everyone goes by 80. I'm gonna take you guys, I don't know how long it'll take me to get there, but I'm not gonna record all of it. I'm gonna go to Highway 130, I think it is, in Texas, which has a speed limit of 85, and I think I'm gonna try to go, like, see what the 0 to 100 is. I'm not gonna time it, I'm just gonna do it. But, like, people drive like crazy. Like, right now, I'm going 10 over, and this person's getting pissed off at me right now. Oh, it's like a teenage girl. All right, yeah, so that's about the car. I think comfortability, because I have heard, granted, I've never driven another supercar or anything like that, but I've heard Lamborghinis, like things like Ferraris, they are not comfortable. Specifically, like Lamborghinis, they're not made for comfortability because, like, they're supercars. But this thing, you could drive, I would have no issue driving this thing every day. It's comfortable, it's easy, it's not unbelievably low to the ground. Like, I haven't hit anything. I haven't scraped yet. I did scrape once. I scraped once. I haven't done much, but, like, it is completely livable. Oh crud, I forgot to show the front trunk. The front trunk is, I haven't even opened, to be honest with you, because I have had no use for it. But it can hold about one carry-on size suitcase. from what I've seen online about these cars, because honestly, even before I bought it, the 2008 Audi R8 V8 was by far one of my favorite cars. So I wanted to drive one for a long time. I would definitely put an exhaust. I'm honestly going to ask the guy when I drop it back off what exhaust is on this car, because if I ever get an Audi R8, that's what I want. Dude, people get... Oh, man. So, yeah. Alright, I'm trying to think of anything else about this car. It does have a sport mode, which just basically higher revs it. Oh, steering, handling, things like that. So, it is tight. Like, there's no room for anything. If I, like, right now I'm going to switch lanes. If I do, I'm in the next lane. Like, it's a little jerk motion. You're in there. It is not a loose thing. It's the power steering. You have to, like, you have to hand over hand it for, like, a U-turn. It is not easy, which is fine because it makes it such, like, a tight drive, and it corners amazingly well. But all around, I mean, I keep trying to find things to complain about. The gears suck. That's one thing. The first and second gear, if you're not going faster, as I said, they're not smooth. They're really tight. They're very jerky because they're like, I want to go faster, I want to go faster, and it's almost like urging you to drive faster. That was the biggest thing. Other than that, I mean, I don't. The ride is smooth. It doesn't take bumps very well, but for a car this low and this sensitive, you wouldn't expect it to. But Texas is full of them. There are so many potholes in San Antonio. Like, they're everywhere. And the worst part is the water in San Antonio. Like, when it rains, it doesn't drain at all. Oh, I'm gonna go north. Also, this one has I'm not sure what it's called, but most cars that drive pretty quick, they have a secondary pedal that you can feel when you push the pedal all the way down. It's called something, I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but my Volkswagen GTI has it. My dad's Mazda has it, so it's not like an uncommon thing, but it just kicks up the RPMs. But in this thing, when you kick up the RPMs, it picks up, because, yeah. So the other thing, because obviously I've been driving it in San Antonio, and it has rained since I got it. Today is the first day so far where it's been clear all day. This thing handles amazing in the rain. Like, obviously, you can put it sideways. I may or may not have, even though that was in the agreement that I would not. I may or may not have put it sideways once doing a U-turn. You definitely can. When it's wet. When it's dry, this thing holds too tight. You have to turn off traction control, and even with traction control off, it's hard to break traction. But it's amazing in the rain. I saw no issues driving with it. Obviously, you have to avoid, here specifically, you have to avoid puddles because you don't know what's at the bottom of these puddles around here, and 90% of the time there is a pothole. But other than that, I mean, it gets 13 to 18 to the gallon, which isn't great, but it isn't terrible either. So I mean, like, it's not the worst, but it's not the best either. Other things that drive me nuts. I didn't do it because I didn't mess with it. In reverse, so let's say you're going into reverse, you're about to hit the curb, it'll start beeping really rapidly. If you shift it back into drive, or even put it in park, or, well, there is no park, there's neutral with the e-brake, it still goes. The beeping just goes beep, 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 and it doesn't stop. Either you turn the car off, or you have to move forward. But otherwise, it just beeps. And I waited like 2 minutes trying to see if it would eventually just stop. It didn't stop. It's like, it keeps beeping. And I don't know if that's a problem with this car, but it's like this specific R8, but like, it is a problem that I've had. Well, everybody, I'm back at home. I recorded one more video and an outtake being like, oh, this was the R8. I can't find either of them. I have no idea what happened to them. My GoPro at some point overheated, so I think that's what happened, but I'm missing those videos. So wrap up for the Audi R8. By far my favorite car I've ever driven, and this is after I drive my next car. That'll be my next video. Still my favorite. No major complaints. By far my favorite. I'm gonna try to get a car when I go to Florida next week. To have another one. On the list is a Wrangler. There is an i8 down there for a BMW. I'm not sure if I want to ball out and spend $500 a day on it, but it is an option, or maybe even a smart car because I've never driven one. That might be interesting. But please like and subscribe to join the Squamer Squad, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.